The Enfield Poltergeist Int. Hodgson family house night. The year is 1977. The Hodgson family's small, semi-detached house in Enfield, London, is eerily quiet. Peggy Hodgson, a single mother of 4, tucks her youngest children, Janet, 11, and Billy, 10, into bed. Peggy, good night, loves. Sleep tight. She switches off the light and leaves the room. SFX. Faint knocking. Janet stirs, glancing around the dark room. Janet whispers, Billy, did you hear that? Billy nods, eyes wide. The knocking grows louder, echoing through the house. Cut to Int. Living room. Later, Peggy sits on the couch, reading a book. The knocking continues, now accompanied by a low rumble. She sets the book down, frowning. Peggy. To herself, what is that? She gets up to investigate. As she reaches the hallway, a dresser slides across the floor, blocking her path. Peggy gasps, stumbling back. Peggy. Who's there? Suddenly, the lights flicker, and a deep voice echoes through the house. Deep voice. Leave. Peggy's heart races as she backs away, terrified. Cut to Int. Children's room night. Janet and Billy huddle under the covers, trembling. The door creaks open, and a shadowy figure stands in the doorway. Janet whispers, Mom? But it's not their mother. The figure moves closer, revealing a grotesque, distorted face. Janet and Billy, screaming, Mom. Peggy bursts into the room, switching on the light. The figure vanishes, leaving only a lingering coldness. Peggy. It's okay, I'm here. She hugs her children tightly, trying to comfort them, and herself. Cut to Int. Living room day. Paranormal investigators Maurice Gross and Guy Leon Playfair arrive at the Hodgson house. They set up equipment, determined to capture evidence. Maurice. To Peggy, we're going to find out what's going on here. As the night falls, the activity intensifies. The investigators hear the knocking, see furniture moving on its own, and witness Janet speaking in a deep, menacing voice. Janet, possessed, I am Bill. I died here. Maurice and Guy exchange uneasy glances, recording everything. Guy. This is incredible. Maurice. And terrifying. The haunting escalates, with Janet being levitated and thrown across the room. SFX. Loud crash. Peggy and the investigators rush to Janet's aid, but she remains in a trance, her eyes glazed over. Peggy. Janet, please. Wake up. Janet's body contorts as she speaks in Bill's voice. Janet, possessed. You'll never get rid of me. Suddenly, the lights explode, plunging the house into darkness. The investigators scramble to find their flashlights. Maurice. We need to get out of here. They manage to drag Janet out of the room, and the haunting momentarily subsides. Cut to Int. Hodgson family house. Later, despite their efforts, the haunting continues sporadically. The family eventually moves away, leaving the house and its dark history behind. Fade out. Title card. Inspired by true events. The Amityville Horror Int. Amityville House Night. The year is 1975. The Lutz family has just moved into their new home in Amityville, New York. George Lutz stands in the living room, admiring the space. George whispers, this place is perfect. But as night falls, an unsettling feeling creeps in. SFX. Clock chimes 3:15 a.m. George wakes up, drenched in sweat. He hears a strange noise coming from the basement. Cut to Int. Basement night. George cautiously descends the stairs, flashlight in hand. The air is thick with an unnatural chill. SFX. Low growl. He swings the flashlight around, but sees nothing. George sighs, just my imagination. As he turns to leave, he catches a glimpse of glowing red eyes staring back at him from the darkness. Cut to Int. Bedroom night. Kathy Lutz wakes up, feeling an unseen presence. She looks over to see George, pale and trembling. Kathy. George, are you okay? George. I don't know. Suddenly, the bedroom door slams shut, and the room fills with a foul stench. SFX. Child's laughter. Kathy and George turn to see their daughter Missy standing in the corner, talking to an invisible friend. Missy. Jody says it's not safe here. Kathy. Missy, who is Jody? Missy. Points to the corner, Jody is my friend. He lives in the walls. Kathy and George exchange a worried look, realizing their nightmare is only beginning. Cut to int. Living room day. The family gathers, trying to make sense of the strange events. George. We need to find out what's happening here. They research the house's history and discover the horrifying truth. The previous occupants, the DeFeo family, were murdered in their beds by their eldest son, Ronald DeFeo Jr. Kathy whispers, "What have we gotten ourselves into?" Cut to int. Kitchen night. Kathy is preparing dinner when she feels a cold hand on her shoulder. She turns, but no one is there. SFX. Whispering voices. The voices grow louder, filling her head with fear. Kathy. Leave us alone. The lights flicker, and a green slime oozes from the walls. Cut to int. Bedroom night. George is tormented by nightmares, waking up at 3:15 a.m. every night. He begins to change, becoming more aggressive and distant. George yells, "I can't take it anymore." Cut to int. Living room night. The family decides to hold a seance, hoping to communicate with the spirits. They sit around the table, holding hands. Psychic medium. Spirit, why are you here? The table shakes, and a deep voice responds. Spirit, VO, get out. Suddenly, the room is plunged into chaos. The windows shatter, and the furniture is thrown around violently. Kathy. Screaming, "We have to leave." Cut to Ext. Amityville house night. The family flees the house, leaving everything behind. As they drive away, the house seems to watch them, its dark windows glowing ominously. Fade out. Title card. Inspired by true events.